All right, guys, here is my 1983 Mercedes-Benz 240D. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap in an om617, the 5-cylinder turbo. I'm gonna kind of go over in depth what you kind of need to do, because there's like no really good videos on YouTube about this. I have to shorten a couple things down there, and I'll kind of explain what you need to shorten down there. All right, so I got these all zip tied up, so when I moved it back they didn't drag. But these are the shift cables, or not cables, these are the shift linkage rods for the transmission shifter. This you will have to shorten 4 inches. You will have to shorten the forward part of the drive shaft 4 inches, that's why I have that out. And you will also have to build a new cross member, or I believe you can take a cross member from an automatic 240D, throw it in there, and that will work as well. So what I've done so far, I've just pulled the old engine out. Like I said, I just pulled out that drive shaft part there. It's over here, so it's right there. You gotta shorten that. And then I've just put in the new engine mounts. Highly recommend doing new engine mounts when you take the engine out. I swapped over the flywheel. Already got that bolted down, ready to go. Blue Loctited it. Didn't end up torquing it because I'm lazy. I just used the impact gun with Blue Loctite. We'll move on to the next thing you kind of have to worry about when doing this. This hole right here is for the pilot bearing. The pilot bearing, if you guys don't know, goes into the crankshaft rather than the flywheel on these cars. So since these engines really didn't come with manual transmissions, this hole is actually a different size for some reason than that one. I don't know why they couldn't just made them the same size, but slightly different. So the clutch kit I ordered did come with a pilot bearing, but it does not fit in here. You actually have to get that pilot bearing turned down a little bit. You can do it with some belt sander, and I'd recommend, if you could, go to a machine shop and get it turned down on the lathe. That's what I'm gonna do. I just measured in here a couple times, got the smallest measurement that I got, and that's what we're gonna be turning it down to. So I think it ended up being 1.355 inches that we're turning it down to, around 34 millimeters. And then that should just press fit in there. And I think those are the only things that you have to modify, as far as I'm aware, to do this swap. Alright, I just got the bearing back from one of my buddies at work. He turned this down to, I think it was 1.355 inches. So he turned this sucker down. We're gonna go home and we're gonna see if this will press fit into the crankshaft, and we'll get the clutch on it and put the transmission on. Alright, just got back to the shop. We got the bearing right here. I'm gonna do a little test fit. Oh yeah, that's what we want. That fits nice. Alright, got the car in jack stands right now. Got the transmission supported by a jack stand as well. What we're doing now is we're taking measurements off the cross member that was in here, so we know how much this thing needs to sit down off of here and how far shifted over it was, because as you can see, it's closer to the passenger side than the driver's side, because it makes clearance for the shift rods up here, as you can see. So these little things right here, I just went ahead and popped them out. They were in this front hole. Move them back to the second hole right here, and that'll line you up perfectly with this. So this is what they look like when you pop them out, and you go ahead and you just put that end up in this second slot right here. Something like that. Looks like that. Now those will line up with that. And you can use the same bolts and everything. Alright guys, it's the next day. Got the Mercedes right there. Today we're gonna be working on shortening the shift linkage. We got our cross member made and bolted in. We got one bolt right here. Kind of holding it in just loosely, but that's in there. So this is where the transmission's gonna sit. These are all tight as well. So the next thing we want to do is we want to lock the shifter into neutral. And the way you do that is, I don't know if you can see, but there is a little groove and holes in these shift rods right here. So you put a pin through that in this little groove, and that locks the shift cables or the shift rods into neutral position. Then we just need to figure out how much shorter they need to be. What's up, guys? Got a couple things I want to show you. Yeah, just this. So I've called probably like 4 or 5 different drive shaft shops. None of them will do a Mercedes drive shaft because it's got the friction welded parts on them and it's a flange instead of a U-joint. They can't do them. So I've kind of came to a conclusion that I'm gonna have to shorten it myself, and I've kind of been thinking of some ways I can do it. Watch some videos on YouTube, and there's actually a couple good ways that I found to do it. So I'm gonna attempt to shorten the drive shaft today on my own. I'm gonna show you what you guys need to do it. Another thing I wanted to show you was this piece I made here. It's like a 90-degree bend off of a piece of metal to go around the oil filter housing on the engine, because the old engine had the fitting right here in the back, and this new engine has it in the side right there. So it comes out and it has to go around this and then into there. So I made that. I don't know if I showed you guys this yet, but doing a rear main seal because it was leaking really bad, and this seal is hard as a rock. So I already got the one side out there. I gotta pull the crankshaft out and do the other side real fast. I have that ordered. Along with that, I am doing a front main seal, and I got a new slider for that guy because it's kind of worn out. So just waiting for parts on that. So in the meantime, I'm gonna shorten the drive shaft myself, so then I have everything I need to get this done. So here's the drive shaft, already marked it so I can phase it with the rest of the drive line. These are all done. They're shortened, cleaned them up so you can't even see where I welded them, and I painted them. Those look really nice. This is the last piece to the puzzle, is shortening this 4 inches. So you go ahead and set it down. I did replace the boot on this and marked it. So we got weights on that end and we got weights on this end. So we're gonna have to take it out of the middle here where there's no weights, and we need to make sure that this does not twist at all. It has to be welded exactly straight how it is. Also, it can't be cockeyed a little bit. So okay, found a piece of angle iron, cleaned it up, both sides here where I'm going to be welding it, and on the drive shaft, cleaned up this. I'm going to be mounting the ground right there. In between here there's 4 inches in between there, so I'm just going to do 2 tacks here, 2 tacks there, and on the other side to get this tacked in place. This will keep this in a perfect straight line. When we weld it back together, we just got to line these up. That'll keep everything perfectly straight. So I'm gonna try it. See how she works. We're gonna turn the welder on and just do a couple tacks. Alright, got her in the chop saw. I got this little square. It's got a little bubble level on it and a 90-degree edge. So what I did is I lined this up with the angle iron right here. Brought the saw down. Made sure that's straight against the saw. With this on the 0. Just verified that that is gonna be straight. And then I'm going to take this, go here, and get this level this way. It looks like this one needs to come up just here. Get that level there. So then we're cutting straight, okay? And then each cut, you want to make sure that you verify those angles. All right, so we cut the 4 inches out. There's a little section of 4 inches right there. This fucking chop saw's a piece of shit. So I don't know how straight I got it, but the angle iron helps a lot because it's straight. We're gonna use this piece of 4 inches that we cut out here to align these two. We just gotta clean up the ends in there. That's what I'm doing. We have a straight edge, so let's throw a couple tacks on it. We can see how true we are with the straight edge. And then I will do a run out measurement on it as well. So I'm gonna grind these, clean up the edges, put a little bevel on them. Where I'm gonna weld it, I'm gonna clean up the paint, and I'm gonna clean up all these pieces, throw a couple tacks on it and see how it looks. All right, welded it all back together, grinded it flush, and I'm throwing some paint on it. So really can't even tell that I cut it in half. So just hoping that's straight enough. It's pretty damn straight. I used a straight edge on it and it's damn near perfect. So should be good. Alright, got the engine back in the car. Everything's all hooked up. Got a little pipe I made right here to go around the oil filter spot. Got the glow plugs routed in. We just have this one that's not going anywhere because we only had a 4 on this one. Got the coolant temperature thing hooked up to there. So right now, I just need to make a exhaust for it and some sort of intake. But it does run and drive. I just gotta figure out what to do with that as well. So gotta slide under here. Get the jacks up a little bit. And yes, there's a jack stand under here, so we're good. But you can see, got the cross member, got the drive shaft in, got the shift linkage all in, got the speedometer cable in and everything. Got a new clutch slave cylinder and all new steering tie rod ends and the new shock right there. So this thing is gonna be freaking sweet, along with all that new stuff up here. We got new friction or new whatever discs, flex discs, new center carrier bearing, new rubber seal here, and obviously new flex disc down there as well. So this thing's pretty freaking sweet. Right now I'm just trying to figure out how to lock these rods into place because I lost all the clips and shit for them. So a couple of them you can take a cotter pin and go up through them and do that, but one of them doesn't have a hole through it. It might be that one up there, or you just have to use like a C-clip or something. You can see the little groove right there, so I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out what size it needs. What is up, guys? I just got off work and the car is finished where I can drive it. I'm actually going to drive it to the alignment shop right now, or a mechanic shop to get an alignment. There's not really shops that just do alignments, but here we go. So 4-speed manual. We got the om617 turbo diesel. Give it a quick glow real fast. Start it up. Fires right up. Good oil pressure. Sounds beautiful. Do need to make a full exhaust for it. Right now it's just coming off the turbo, dumping straight down right here. So it's a little droney, going 70. But other than that, we got the boost gauge just kind of in here temporarily. I want to do some gauges right here so I can put my battery voltage and my boost right here. But we're just gonna let it warm up just a little bit before we take off here. Usually let it idle for like a minute or two before I take off. But I'll set you guys up maybe, I'm not sure where would be a good view. I don't know where you want to see the transmission, or we'll figure out a spot. Alright, just got you kind of down by the shifter so you can see when I'm shifting, steering and stuff like that. About ready to leave here. So let's put it in reverse and see what this thing sounds like. Just cruising back up here. It's easy. Going first. Super smooth engine. Sounds so nice. Like a top. Let you guys know when we're pulling onto the freeway. Fast we're going. It's definitely more peppy than the 616, that's for sure. No AC, so I gotta roll the window down a little bit. That's the one of many flaws with this car. It's not perfect, but love it nonetheless. Honestly, it's almost worth the swap just for the turbo noises. Like, the increased power, yes, is awesome, but just the sound of this engine is amazing. So, okay, we're pulling onto the freeway here. We left a little mosquito repellent down there. It's not quite warmed up all the way, so it's smoking a little white, but I like the smell of it, so it doesn't bother me. It's a little droney going 70 just because of the exhaust, like I was saying, but it's really not too bad. It kind of sounds nice.